Hey there, friends of St. Paul's. Today is Wednesday, September 8th, and today I'm coming to you from my dining room. And we are spending some time with the values of St. Paul's Lutheran Church this month. Last week and this week, we're focusing on our value number 1. St. Paul's values and welcomes the gifts of all individuals. Last week, we talked about Lydia and Paul meeting each other in Acts. And this week, we're going to talk about something that's not biblical, that's just a little exercise we can do when we're considering how we as individuals and as a congregation value the gifts of all individuals. So, our ELCA has a program through the seminaries where people spend a year or more in a context working as a pastoral intern as part of their learning and growing opportunities with seminary. This is where they learn a lot of the nuts and bolts of what it means to be a pastor, and they also process a lot of things for themselves about pastoral identity and theology. Our congregation will be starting this journey on this Sunday, September 12th. And in preparation for that, I attended some training to become a supervisor. There are things that I don't know that I needed to learn about how to supervise a seminary student. And one of the things that we did during this supervision was called diversity training. We learned about diversity dimensions, and Dave Shearer, our leader in this work around diversity, encouraged us to think about the lenses through which we experience life. There are many diversity dimensions, he called them. Things like education, race, ethnicity, work experience, socioeconomic status, hometown roots, gender identity, family background, religion, sexual orientation, nationality, abilities and disabilities, language, age. The list goes on. There's so many ways that we show up in the world, and sometimes when we think that we are all the same or that our culture is kind of a monoculture, we lose some of these differences that make a difference. That's what our preceptor Dave called them, differences that make a difference. So today, I want to encourage you to think about which 3 of these diversity dimensions do you notice most in your daily life? Which one don't you notice? I will share about one of the diversity dimensions that I notice quite often in my daily life, and that is the diversity dimension of gender identity. Being a woman is a key and core part of my identity. It's something that I think about a lot. Maybe it plays out for me when I am doing my pastoral care work and someone might feel more comfortable talking to me about certain topics than they would if I were not a woman in my role. This also plays out for me sometimes in my personal life if I am walking in a dark parking lot by myself or going on a run. I have to consider things about personal safety that I might not consider if I had a different gender identity. This also plays out for me in my thinking and my theology. I'm currently pursuing a doctoral degree that relates specifically to how women pastors lead congregations and also how women theologians and feminist Bible interpreters think about the Bible and about theology. So this part of my lens is something that I'm considering all the time. One area that I don't think about very often, which I would like to grow some of my opportunities to really be a person who's welcoming to all people of all identities and skills, is around ability and disability. As a person who is physically able to do most things, I don't often think about what it would be like to be in a wheelchair. I don't think about what it would be like to have vision impairment. I don't usually think about hearing impairment when I'm in different spaces. That's not really a part of my lens of diversity, my diversity dimensions. And so one of the challenges I'm working on in my own life, as I'm hoping to become a person who's even more welcoming to all of my neighbors, is to consider these things. When I am presenting something, how am I presenting that in a way that is accessible for all people? Do I need to have closed captions under my videos? Is there something I could be doing that would make our space at church, something we could be doing, more hospitable to people of differing physical abilities? These sorts of things are opportunities for growth in neighbor love. This is a way that we can respond to God's love for us by sharing that love with our neighbors, like a prism. And I want to end this little time today with one thing that I learned at our diversity dimension training that is so related to this value that St. Paul's welcomes the gifts of all individuals. And that is that the golden rule is treat someone how you want to be treated. But our teacher taught us that the platinum rule is treat someone how they want to be treated. That is something that we are working on at St. Paul's, and that is a way that we live our value of welcoming people with all gifts and skills.